What happens when a rising political star steps into the spotlight and gets absolutely torn to pieces on live television? That is exactly what unfolded this week, as Green Party leader Zack Polanski found himself at the center of one of the most ferocious media takedowns British politics has seen in recent memory. And if you thought GB News was going to go easy on him, think again. For those who may not be fully up to speed, Zack Polanski is the newly elected leader of the Green Party of England and Wales. Since taking over the role, he has made no secret of his ambitions to shake up British politics. He's loud, he's unapologetic, and he's been on a media blitz, appearing on flagship programs, making bold declarations, and positioning himself as the radical alternative that a growing number of British voters, particularly younger ones, are apparently hungry for. His party's poll numbers have been ticking upward, and Polanski has been riding a wave of media attention that, until very recently, seemed to be going largely in his favor. That wave, however, just crashed headfirst into a brick wall named Adam Brooks. Brooks, the straight-talking publican and broadcaster known for his no-nonsense appearances on GB News, made clear from the very start of his latest segment that he was not interested in diplomatic niceties. Sitting before the cameras, he declared he refuses to hold back, and he absolutely did not. The target of his fury? Polanski's jaw-dropping pledge to legalize all substances in the United Kingdom. Not just cannabis. Not just softer recreational drugs. All substances, including crack cocaine and heroin. The policy had already made headlines after Polanski appeared on BBC's Sunday with Laura Quensberg, where he argued that Britain's current approach to drug enforcement is, in his words, very racialized, and that what the country needs is not criminalization, but a public health response. He framed legalization as a compassionate, evidence-based solution to the thousands of deaths caused by dangerous substances each year. To his supporters, it was a bold and principled stand. To Adam Brooks, it was something else entirely. Brooks branded Polanski a danger to this country. He accused him of being a chancer, someone who, in his view, is chasing fame rather than genuinely fighting for the British people. He did not mince words, and he did not slow down. The segment quickly became a full-scale public dressing down, with Brooks firing off accusations about Polanski's credibility, his suitability for high office, and the sheer recklessness, in his view, of the Green leader's policy positions. It was, by any measure, a blistering encounter. The kind of television moment that clips itself and spreads across every corner of social media within hours. To be fair, Polanski was not entirely without defenders in the studio. Green Party member Paul Powsland pushed back hard, dismissing Brooks' arguments as not very well cited and demanding evidence to back up the broadcaster's most explosive claims. Powsland also made an interesting point that the very fact GB News was having this discussion at all was proof of Polanski's growing political significance. Nobody had scrutinized his predecessor, Adrian Ramsay, this aggressively, he argued, because the establishment simply did not see him as a threat. But despite the pushback, the damage was already spreading. The clip went viral. Viewers and commentators piled in from every direction, and the words "danger to this country" rang out loud and clear across British political media. And the timing could not have been worse for Polanski, because elsewhere, a separate but equally damaging story was quietly closing in. Fresh questions have been swirling around his living arrangements after his partner appeared to describe an East London narrowboat as their main home, directly contradicting Polanski's own claim that he only stayed at the Hackney mooring occasionally. A sale advert for the vessel, written by his partner, referred to it warmly as their amazing home. Local residents have reportedly spotted Polanski in the marina area on a regular basis. One local even admitted they assumed he lived there because of how frequently they saw him. His personal approval ratings have taken a dramatic hit as a result, plunging 12 points in just 24 hours, a sharp and sudden collapse that suggests voters are now asking serious questions about who Zack Polanski really is and whether the image he projects to the public reflects the truth. So where does all of this leave him? He came into this week as a political insurgent on the rise, someone perfectly placed to capitalize on growing public frustration with both Labour and the Conservatives. By the end of the week, he was fighting a war on two fronts, defending his flagship policies on one side and his personal integrity on the other. For a brand new party leader, still trying to earn the trust of the wider British public, that is an extraordinarily difficult position to be in. Whether this proves to be a temporary stumble or the beginning of something more serious will depend entirely on how Polanski responds in the days ahead. His supporters will argue the media is simply doing what it always does, attacking anyone who dares to challenge the status quo. His critics will say the scrutiny is completely justified and that the public deserves honest answers. One thing, however, is absolutely certain. The spotlight on Zack Polanski has never been brighter, and right now is burning very, very hot. That is the story for today. A man who stepped into the political arena believing he could rewrite the rules has discovered, in no uncertain terms, that GB News and the British press have an agenda of their own, and his name is firmly at the top of it. If you found this video useful, drop your thoughts down in the comments. We genuinely want to hear from you. Do you think Polanski's policies are ahead of their time, or does Adam Brooks have a point? Let the debate begin. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this breakdown, and make sure you subscribe so you never miss our latest coverage of British politics, morning television, and all the media stories that are keeping the nation talking. We will see you in the next one.